It's just gorgeous.
I never thought I would say this.
What can you say? Welcome back. This is part two. Part two of what, you might ask yourself? Well, as it turns out, this gentleman, Mr. EagleFan, the EagleFan, by the way, and myself, Evil Chicken, are back with part two. That's one part here and one part here, and together, that makes two. So, we have been talking about our favorite places. We've put together a top 10 list, if you will. Bagosh bagolly, number 5. Let's get started, shall we? Dave, you in with me?
Oh, man, I am ready. Number 5, actually, is an interesting one because we've both been there. Different times, different lives, maybe. Different times, definitely. That is Watkins Glen, New York.
Oh, man, Watkins Glen is phenomenal. It's in the Finger Lakes of New York. If you're into NASCAR, I think they race there too, but I'm not into that. What I am into is the beauty of that gorge in Watkins Glen. You can take a bus to the top and walk down, which I recommend. It's beautiful. It's where was it? It's in south of Seneca Lake in Schuyler County, for those of you playing at home. It's just gorgeous. It's like the water in this gorge has eroded the earth and the rock into these beautiful formations. There are pools. It's worth your time. If you get the chance, you should go. Dave, what do you think of it?
I was there one time as a vacation. I drove through there another time. When I was there as a vacation, I thought it was a great place to go to. The beautiful scenery. We stayed in this nice little place, which unfortunately is not, I don't know if it's not there or it's no longer open as a motel anymore. A place that was right next to these falls, I believe were called Hector Falls, right on the lake, on the eastern side of the lake. And it was a beautiful place. There was all of the rooms, there was a balcony outside you could walk around on and look over the lake, and you could see the falls right from where we were at.
Beautiful.
It was literally, we could walk right over to the falls there. It was probably within 20 feet of the building. And it was just beautiful. Walking around town, it kind of had that nice little small town country feel to it.
That's cool. Yeah.
We did a lot of different things in town. We went up and we looked at the racetrack that is there. If you go there, and I think it's the beginning of August, expect there to be a lot of people. That is when the race is there.
That's when it happens, huh?
So that first weekend, I believe, of August is normally when it was. You might want to avoid it then if you're not going for the race. We didn't really get into Watkins Glen itself as much as we would have wanted to. The problem we had the week we went up, we had the worst luck imaginable.
What happened?
We were going up there in early June of the year that we went.
Right.
And I looked it up. Average temperature is like 70. So we nice. We got there in one of the hottest runs they have had in decades. It was 97 degrees. And unfortunately, that nice little place that we stayed didn't have air conditioning.
Why? It's usually always in the 70s.
Exactly. So it meant that we didn't do as much outside as we would have if it had been a normal average week. Because it's hot, it's humid, you're sweating, you're sticky, and you just don't really feel like walking around too many places.
And that's quite a hike down, too.
Yeah. We did a nice tour, a little boat tour on the lake, which was nice. Takes you out onto the lake. It shows you a lot of the different sites.
Cool.
We went to a winery that was in the area. There's plenty of them in the area.
Very good wineries.
Now, a side note on this, a trip we went to a couple of years ago, we didn't stop there, but we did stop in Ithaca, which is a little ways away from there, but it's still in that same Finger Lakes region. We got to see like Ithaca Falls. So generally, when I say Watkins Glen, at least myself, I don't just mean Watkins Glen, but that whole area. There are so many sites, so many waterfalls that you can go see. The beauty of nature is amazing there.
Oh yeah, I don't think Corning, New York, is far from there either.
No,
just really.
If you
really
like glassware, that's a perfect place to go.
They have excellent museums. There's a really good ice cream shop in town too. I forget the name of it, but
I'm sensing a theme here.
Yes, fat guys like ice cream.
You've picked up on those ice cream shops quite a bit.
I'm just saying.
Actually, I think I went to the other ice cream shop you mentioned before in the previous video.
Oh, so. Okay, cool.
And I think it was because you mentioned it to me before I went down there.
Oh, no kidding. You went to Leopold.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Hopefully you watched our previous video so you know what we're talking about. If not,
it was riveting.
Go watch our previous video and you'll know what we're talking about.
There we are. It was riveting. I think you'll dig it. One more thing about Watkins Glen, and then we can scoot on. I have pictures of myself with hair and a child on my back in a papoose. She was, I think, 2 at the time. She's 27 now. No, 26.
It wasn't even his child.
I don't know who this kid was. But yes. So, I mean, my oldest daughter, Amanda, there's pictures of us with hair. She still has hair. I don't. But it's just a unique place. You should go. What's next, Dave?
What is next? We are going corporate next.
Corporate, you say? Not us.
Yes, we are. We are going corporate. It is something that I never would have expected I would have put on a list like this until I've actually been there. Yes, I understand it's a tourist location. Yes, I understand it's expensive. But my God, they just do things right. I don't know what it is, but it's a very entertaining trip whenever I've been there. And it's a place I'm definitely going back to again, hopefully several times if possible. It all depends on the money, obviously, and when things reopen again. It is down in Orlando, Disney World.
Oh.
Now, I didn't get specific with it just being a specific location in Disney World, but we both had this on our list.
Yes.
And so I figure we will both discuss what we had and come up with the different locations as we discuss through this.
Love it. Love it. What can you say? Disney is, dare I say, a magical kind of place. I think you're right, Dave. They do things right. It's so immense. They have their own freeway system. Think about that. It's an honest-to-God freeway system that connects the parks, that connects the hotels, the restaurants, Disney Springs, which is a trip unto itself. But the big 4, water parks too. But the big 4, you got the Magic Kingdom, you got your Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom, and of course Epcot. Dave, what do you like about the magical?
I never thought I would say this. It was one of the things I wanted to get to take the girls to. And then when I got there,
right,
it just became a vacation that I loved because there were so many things you could do. You didn't have to plan your trip per se. You could show up, you could go to things, you could relax, you could go here, go there, whatever you wanted to do without it having to say, okay, at such and such a time, we have to go do this. At this time, we have to go do that. Other than if you're doing your fast passes. So right. I just loved it from that point forward because in my mind, it became the easy vacation in that I could plan to do as much or as little as I want. Even just hanging out at the resort for a couple hours in the middle of the day to relax and unwind was a nice part of the vacation.
Yeah.
Now, for the individual locations, I cannot speak of the water parks. We planned on getting to the water parks, but we never did. Every time we were thinking about doing that in the morning, we got up and, there's going to be thunderstorms that morning. Okay, we'll go to one of the other parks.
Gotcha.
So we never got to the water parks. So if anybody has any experience with those, please let us know in the comments down here below. Also, while you're giving us a comment, do a like and subscribe. We would appreciate that as well. Where I did like the very first park we went to, and probably the one we've been to the most, is Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
It has plenty of different rides. I love the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
I've never been on that.
I've never been a roller coaster guy, but we went on that the one time, and Kayla, who had never been a roller coaster person, that was like the first one she then went on.
Right.
And I remember both of us were like, okay, we'll do this. We'll do this. And we're in line at one point, and we're getting close to the beginning there. We look, and we see it, and it takes off. And it looks, when you're someone who doesn't do the roller coasters, it looked like, oh, my God, that was going 500 miles an hour. But it's not that bad. So we got on it. We loved it. The theme of it is great. It's fun when you're whipping around, whipping back and forth. It does whip you back and forth a bit. So if you don't like that, you might not be as fond of it. It's not a big high speed thrill. You're not getting these 90-foot drops and stuff, but you're getting a lot of around the bend, a lot of back and forth. It's just nice because at one point you hit this point where you've just been shaken up, and it's shaking you back and forth and up and down, and you come through this little spot, and all of a sudden you hear hi ho, and there's the dwarves doing their thing, and it just kind of takes you through that a little bit. So I thought that was just a nice little touch there, because it also gives you a chance to kind of catch your breath for a moment. Cool. That, and the other one of my favorites is the Haunted Mansion.
Yes,
it's just a must. You've got to go there. You've got to see that.
That's my favorite thing in the Magic Kingdom. Yeah, that's my favorite attraction in the Magic Kingdom. I mean, it just rocks. You know, I mean, it's just wonderful. You're in your Doom buggy, and I mean, what they do with the technology of the time, and it still works. You know, that's so cool. I mean, even in the queue, when the room starts to get longer,
yeah.
And I think it's Thule Ravencroft, if I'm not mistaken, who is doing the narration. People would know him as Tony the Tiger, and he also sang the Grinch song. It's not Boris Karloff, it's Thule Ravencroft. And also on Pirates of the Caribbean, he did some of the voice work for that. Not the movie, the ride. Haunted Mansion. It's great. It's absolutely wonderful. Yeah, that's on my list. That's my favorite thing in the Magic Kingdom.
Other than that, as far as the Magic Kingdom goes, I liked a lot of everything else. There's not really any one thing that stands out, other than obviously the fireworks at the end of the day.
Yeah,
that's they do a great job on that. With Magic Kingdom, I will mention, if you have a chance to get down there for the Halloween celebrations, please do so. It is an extra fee. It doesn't count as one of your other park tickets. You actually have to get an extra ticket for this. We were down there the very first one that they did. And
really?
We loved it. They have these little stations all throughout the park where you can go around, you can do your trick or treat, and they give you candy. So we had to take advantage of that as much as possible, because you're paying for everything else. We'll get as much free candy as we can from them while we're down there.
Just smash and grab, kids.
Now, they don't have the fast passes for that.
Okay.
But that actually makes it better, because there's also fewer people in the park. So it's just a one line. We did Mine Train a couple times that night with like maybe a 10 or 15 minute wait each time.
Oh, wow. That's great.
So without the fast passes, it didn't matter. You didn't need the fast passes. There wasn't as many people in the park. They had special fireworks. They had parades going on. It was just overall nice. There were some rides and stuff that were not open.
Okay.
But a lot of that was because they had things where that's where some of the pickups were for the Halloween candy and other stuff going on.
Gotcha.
But I thought it was great. I absolutely loved it. The girls liked it. They had a blast. Now, if we had known about it ahead of time, that was one of those things that I only found out about as we got down there. Because as we were planning out the week, it was like, okay, well, that's going to be Friday night. And then we heard, oh, well, the Magic Kingdom's only open until such and such a time that day. After that, it becomes the Halloween. So let's do that. They do allow people to dress up as whatever costume they basically want to wear. You can wear costumes in there to do trick or treating. We didn't know that for the girls at that point in time, so it's not like we were prepared for that. But it was fun. If you get a chance to do it, do it. Just because of the smaller crowds in and of itself made it that much better.
That's almost worth every penny right there. We did the Christmas celebration one year. It was great. Absolutely wonderful. You had mentioned ice cream before, or was that me? One of my favorite things to do for the fireworks is hit up that ice cream place and then get right out there because it gives you such a panoramic view of the castle with the fireworks, and it's nice. It's nice. How about any other of the parks there, Dave? You been to Hollywood Studios?
Been to Hollywood Studios. Star Tours, I thought was great. I don't know if you've been there for that. If they had that when you were there.
Why, yes,
okay.
I have.
I figured you've probably been on that multiple times, I'm guessing then.
It's great. I have not been to Star Wars Galaxy yet, but I say yet, but that's okay. Did you happen to see Fantasmic while you were there?
Didn't see that.
I absolutely adore that. That's usually the way we cap off a Disney vacation. That'll be, we'll go to Fantasmic and then we're like, high fives all around. It was, it was just, it's great. I remember my youngest, Dan, saying, nothing spoilers, Dave. As it sort of came to a climax, he went, Mickey saved us all. He was 4 at the time. Yeah, so it kind of brings a tear to our eye every time we go back because it's like, Mickey saved us all.
Very cool. That is actually a regret of mine that I didn't get down there when the girls were younger.
Right.
They were teenagers when we got down there, so it was a little bit different than if we'd gotten down there when they were younger. But it ended up being, money and time and all of that.
Dude.
That all factors
I'm with
into
you.
everything.
I'm with you. How about Animal Kingdom? You been there?
Animal Kingdom, I have been there. It was only for half a day.
Ooh,
that was a rough day that we had. When we were down there, Rachel ended up getting sick while we were down there. And that was the day that she was sick. So we were down there for half the day. Now, we did do a special additional tour while we were there.
Oh, yeah?
So that's what we waited for until that was done, until we left.
Okay.
We did a behind the scenes with the elephants.
Are they animatronic, cool. Dave? Is it?
Yeah, they take you back in there, so it's not like just the safari where you're driving through. Now you're back in there with the people that take care of them, and not too terribly far away from the elephants. So
that's amazing.
It was fun. It was nice.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that was a nice little thing. There was a woman there from South Africa. Mm-hmm. Who was an expert on the elephants, and she gave us a whole background on how things were, and it was very, very cool.
Very.
So that was nice, but then, like I said, she wasn't feeling good, so we went back to the room, and then it kind of changed how that day went at that point. But
I can dig it. I had to drive back 2 out of 3 of the kids because of something similar. But you know what? That's the thing. You got to be flexible because inflexibility will make things miserable.
Yeah. That's also what I liked about like I mentioned earlier about this with Disney, where, okay, we had that one set tour, but other than that, okay, she's not feeling good, we can go back. It's not like, well, we had this plan, we had that plan. We had general plans, but we didn't have any specific plan we had to worry about missing or changing.
Gotcha. Dave, when you were down there, did you have a chance to get on the Avatar Flight of Passage by any chance?
No, I didn't have a chance on that one. We weren't able to get the fast pass on that one, and the line was like 2.5 hours.
It was nuts. Crazy line. Worth it. Dave, that for my money, that's state of the art when it comes to ride technology right now. Just unbelievable. That was great.
We did the river one.
Yes, the Navi river journey or something.
Yeah,
like
that didn't really impress me too much, to be honest with you.
I hear you. I felt the same way about Little Nemo in Epcot. I was like, hey, they should tear this down and put something else up.
Yeah, we did the Nemo one too. It was
yeah. yeah. I mean, it's all right. But when you, but different strokes for different folk.
Did you do the dinosaur one?
Love dinosaur. That's fun.
See, I wasn't as fun with that one because I'm tall. I have long legs. My legs were just jammed into the back of that seat in front of me. And
that would suck.
And
especially if you're waiting in line too.
And with it jerking around and everything, I was not comfortable during the entire thing. So that gave me a little bit of an issue.
Yeah, I could see where that would.
I do believe there's one other park out there as well.
Oh, really?
Epcot.
Yes.
Epcot is one of my favorites in terms of.
Mine too.
It's so much different than. It's not just like a regular theme park. I like that it's got all of the different countries set up so you can go see different things, different types of food, different types of entertainment. And some of the rides are okay that you can get in on there. I don't remember anything jumping out at me, although I did like the test track one. That was fun.
Gotcha.
That one.
What I really love about Epcot, I love eating and drinking my way from country to country.
I hear you there. There is one place that I found that I really love.
Oh, what?
It's called Fife and Drum. Just a kiosk type vendor that you just walk through on the outside. I liked the turkey leg.
Oh,
you can get your little giant turkey leg there and eat. But what I also really liked, and because it was also very hot while we were down there, they have this thing. It is called, let me see, I wrote it down over here, a frozen red stag lemonade.
Oh my. Tell me more.
It is nice. It's a nice alcoholic frozen lemonade drink that on a hot day is very refreshing. You've got to try it. The only problem is you're not going to get any kind of a buzz off of it because you're paying a major premium to get that thing. So it's not like you're going back saying, give me another and another. It's I think it was like $11 or something. Yeah. Although in hindsight, it was cheaper than a beer I remember somebody getting. Related to another video.
True. This is true. I've heard of those pricey, expensive beers.
So in hindsight, it doesn't seem as bad now.
You see, when you put it that way. Dave, you mentioned frozen concoctions. In France, in Epcot's France, they have a Grand Marnier slushy.
Ooh.
Mamacita.
Okay, that is going on my list.
Oh my gosh. And it's like a little French kiosk. Welcome. Let us drink. It's wonderful. Oh yeah. I just absolutely adore it. I like that and the fish and chips over there in the United Kingdom. And I like the Mexican place too. The Mexican eating and drinking your way across the countries. It's great. Love it. And
we ate at one of the Italian places, which was really nice. I forget what that one was called. But
Olive Garden, I think it was. I'm sorry. That's the second time I've used that joke. Please forgive me.
No worries.
So it was good there at the Italian place?
Yeah. If you get a chance, I would definitely recommend it.
Oh, that's cool. I know that.
I'm sorry. I was going to say one more thing I wanted to add about the Disney.
Sure.
is the resorts. If you stay in the resorts themselves, I don't know if you stayed in the resorts or stayed elsewhere.
Extra magic hour?
The extra magic hour is nice. The transportation is nice. You don't have to worry about the parking and all of that. So I loved all that. We stayed, each time we went, we stayed at the All-Star Movies Resort.
Nice, nice.
So I like the little food court that they have there that you can, so a lot of times we would go there early in the morning, do stuff, and then come back in the afternoon just to relax a little bit, charge our batteries a little bit, and then go back for the evening. And
Perfect.
sometimes we would end up eating one of our meals right there at the resort instead of going and eating, one of the places in the parks.
That's
and
awesome.
It was, I love the food there. I thought it was really good. One thing I really loved there, and we had the food plan, which if you're going to get the food plan, only do it if you can get it at a discount.
Okay.
Because yes, the food is expensive there, but if you actually do the math on the basic food plan, it really comes out to more than what you would be paying if you got it while you were there. The only difference is you're paying ahead of time, so you don't notice it as much.
Oh, okay.
Now, when we got it as a deal. So it made sense then for us.
Gotcha. Okay.
But the nice thing when you're eating at the park, at the resort there, is they give you this cup to use that for any time you're getting anything from the resort, it's just, unlimited refills of anything you're wanting to drink. Well, because of that, if you're eating there, they throw in a dessert for your dinner as well as part of it, instead of it counting as anything additional from your food plan.
Really?
So that was nice. So what I found there is they had these brownie sundaes. I'm actually hungry for one right now just thinking about it.
Yeah, you mentioned it. I was like, huh? Huh.
Yeah. So I liked it that way. I also like staying at the resort, like I said, because of the transportation back and forth.
Yeah.
The fact that, okay, we went there now, we went early. I'm exhausted. I can't keep doing this. I can't do the whole opening to closing thing. I'm getting too old for that. But even if I'm not, it's still, I take time, go back a couple hours, take a little nap. Get back, maybe, eat your dinner before you go back to the park, and then you go back and spend the evening there, and it's a wonderful evening.
Very cool. So, very cool.
I think that gets us to number 3.
What do you have for number 3?
This is actually something you have for number 3, so I will let you go over this. You brought this up from your original list.
I did I?
Yes, you did.
Huh.
Cabot Trail.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome.
Reason, oh, I know why. The Cabot Trail. Cabot Trail, Nova Scotia, is a beautiful province in Canada. It's the easternmost province. It's from the Atlantic provinces, obviously. But to the north, you will find Cape Breton Island. And I do this because around Cape Breton Island is something called the Cabot Trail. And it's mountainous, but it's also next to the ocean and a bay. And you go up these beautiful mountains. And you see these beautiful clear waters. The last time I was there, as I was telling Dave earlier, I could have sworn that I saw a pod of whales. And it was startling how beautiful the area was. And I personally couldn't recommend it higher. It's really something to see. It's a great drive. There are certain roads that you'd want to get on and you want to drive. Pacific Coast Highway, never been, love to do it. Highway A1A down in the Florida Keys, great ride. The Cabot Trail, that too is, for my money, one of the great rides. And again, if we had motorcycles, Dave, it would be gorgeous. But yeah, so the Cabot Trail in Cape Breton Island, Nova Scotia, highly recommended.
You definitely want to get there sometime.
What do you have for number 2, Dave?
Number 2 covers 2 different countries.
I'm intrigued.
It's a place I've been to many times in the past. I believe you've been there as well. Niagara Falls,
Yes.
up in New York. I've been there multiple times for work, and I just like having the evenings off and walking over and just exploring the falls.
Yeah.
Just going on the regular American side, going out to Goat Island, walking around in between the falls. During a vacation with the family, we went up there. We went to the Cave of the Winds.
Yes.
Which is, I love it because you get up close and personal with it, where you're right there. The water's rushing by. You're getting soaked by the mist. It's just an amazing thing to see how powerful Mother Nature can be. And to think, I believe I've heard, if this number is correct, which is amazing to me to think that if this number is actually correct.
Right.
I believe I heard 10% was the number that they were saying is actually how much of the water is going over the falls now compared to what it used to be because of something that they added to regulate the water at some point.
Really? That's amazing.
So if I will verify that, and I will put in the little comments down below and stuff if that number is actually off. I'll put what the actual number is.
Okay.
But I remember it was a very, very big difference between what used to be going over and what goes over now because of how they regulate it.
That's amazing, because what goes over now is pretty impressive.
Yes, it is.
We did the Maiden Mist, and we absolutely adored it. It's an amazing thing to behold. I agree with you, Dave. Absolutely. Niagara Falls is a good one.
And if you get a chance, get over to the Canadian side as well. Canadian side is a little bit more touristy. Well, they're both, obviously, both of them are touristy. The Canadian side has a whole street that you're walking along. It's like a Canadian version of Vegas.
Wow, really?
There's a bunch of little open, not necessarily with the casinos and stuff.
Welcome, honey.
not really with the casinos and stuff, but a lot of the little tchotchkes and things.
Oh, okay.
You know, the little souvenir shops. There is a casino there, but it's just that says more tourist trap than the American side. So the American side does, but it's a smaller area, and there's a larger spot where you're walking around in. It seems that's all just the park.
From what I understand, maybe you can clear this up. Which side has the best view?
Initially, I always said Canadian side. This was from the very first time that I went over. But the first time I went over on the American side, I didn't explore as much as I realized I could.
Okay.
If you get on the American side and you start exploring those islands in between, I think you can actually get a better view.
Wow.
Okay. I'm sorry, better angles of things.
Okay.
You still get a better view almost from the Canadian side, because there you're seeing the U.S. side head on.
Right.
Whereas on the U.S. side, you're kind of just seeing it at an angle. You can see it a little more up close in person in some of the areas. But yeah, it really depends. I mean, I really like going over to like the Goat Island area, and I forget what the other island is. There's two islands there. One's called Goat Island, and I forget what the other one is called.
Yeah, I couldn't know.
That you can actually see things quite well from there. And like I said, it's all a matter of perspective. It's all a different perspective, and if you get a chance, you need to see both.
Bingo.
Now, I've walked across there, and I've also been across in a car and in a bus.
Gotcha.
It's nice. It's easy to walk across, except you've got to go through. If you're in a car or a bus, it's a little easier dealing with customs. If you're walking over, you just hope the guy's not having a bad day or something. When it was funny, because there was one time I walked over there. I walked over there a couple different times.
Right.
One time I walked over there, and it was with somebody from work. And he's like, oh, yeah, I always walk over here. So we walked over, and he's like, oh, it's usually tougher when you come back. The American side's usually asking you a lot more questions and worrying about. We get over there, and we're like, okay, we're going through the Canadian side.
Right.
And as we're standing there, we're seeing people coming back from that same line. Like, they wouldn't let me in. I was like, the heck? So we get up there, and oh my God, the guy that was working that night, I don't know what it was, but he practically wanted to know everything about your history. What are you coming here for? How long are you planning on being in? Are you going to be here for this? Do you have drugs on you?
What do you need?
That phrase came into my mind at the time when but
Yeah.
I thought, nope, not a good time to break that one out.
Any weapons, drugs, or alcohol? What do you need?
And then when we came back, the U.S. guy was just like, oh, well, what are you doing? What are you here for? Okay, have a good day.
Different
Completely
world.
the opposite of what expected. So
Different
that
world.
gets us through our top 9. Next, we have our honorable mentions and our number 1.
Oh my.
Now, I think that will be a next time on Soarin and Scratchin. So let's leave them hanging.
Thank you for tuning in, by the way.
Thank you, everybody. Leave some comments down below. Let us know what you think that number 1 is going to be.
Oh, dear.
Because I guarantee you it won't be.
Thank you for watching.
Yes. If you want to put some guesses down below, do so. Maybe I will make a donation to the food bank if you get it right.
Ooh.
In the name of whoever you want that donation to be in the name of.
Very cool. Very cool indeed.
Okay. Thank you again, everybody. We will see you very soon.
Thank you. See you soon.